Welcome back to another video, guys. Again, just want to thank you guys so much for the love and support. Yeah, I just want to talk to you guys about maybe starting, maybe you start a podcast, or maybe you just start like content making on Spotify in general. Just the fact that like I said, a normal person like me could press record, publish something to Spotify, still is kind of insane to me. But yeah, I mean, it might not give you as much action, as per se like the whole Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. It all just depends. I feel like with Spotify, maybe you have to be like a little bit more established, like you know exactly who your audience is first. But to me, the fact that like it's like I don't have to really like show my face, because like I'm kind of like an introvert and I don't really like to talk to a lot of people. So it's kind of easier for me to just be like, okay, press record, put a picture there, put a video there. All right, I'm done. Like I don't have to point the camera at myself and want to fall into it. So it's kind of cool. Um, again, because it's like it's another avenue. For people that's maybe they're not as comfortable making videos, maybe they're more comfortable recording. It's all about you don't have to do one thing or this or that or the other. I would say just try different things. I found out about the whole Spotify thing a couple like when I first started making content on YouTube. I think it might have been Gary Vaynerchuk that mentioned it. I think it might have been like Anchor at first, and then they kind of like switched it over. Because again, you could distribute your podcast to different certain avenues like iHeartRadio, Apple. I think podcast was on there. There was some other stuff too. I can't think of right now, but you could do that with Spotify as well. Like you could kind of embed it with the I think it's called RSS distribution, RSS feed. It's like an option they have when you're publishing your episodes. I mean, that's another avenue you kind of could look into, but I'm trying to just give you guys like some ideas of like kind of what's possible and like kind of what's out there. They even have some software where you can edit the audio called like Riverside. I mean, because again, you go to the Spotify, they have Spotify for creators, and then within that, you select your episode, and then that's where you find like the whole Riverside. But Riverside also is tied into the whole like Anchor thing because that's where, like I said, the old podcast distribution like used to be, and then they changed their names and stuff. But as far as that, again, if you don't really like making videos, you just want to upload audio, I would say, try Spotify, see where it's at. Now, like I said, the problem or maybe the challenge, per se would be to figure out how to grow it. Like you don't have an audience, you don't know how people, is going to find you. So, I mean, I would say they also have like a little course or whatever. I believe, I might try to make a video on that as well, just to show you guys like that. But yeah, I mean, the main thing for me, like I said, is just trying to see like what's out there, what's available. That way I'm not just feeling like I only can make like YouTube videos or I gotta post on TikTok. I mean, I'd rather just try to see, what I could do with what's available and then kind of just like let the market kind of dictate it. I'm still gonna have consistent content across all the platforms, but it's more just like seeing like the feedback. That's kind of like the most important thing, kind of like when you're shooting a basketball. You're not always gonna make the shot, but you adjust your arc. Maybe you stand up straight. Maybe you shoot a little bit higher. Maybe you should have, you move your wrist. Just trying to tweak the content as best you can. Or trying to find the best form that's more suitable, more comfortable to how you are as a person, your personality, per se. So that's kind of like where I was kind of trying to go with this video. As always, thank you guys so much for the love. See you guys in the next one. Peace.